I still think this is the best gun in the game. Like, best multi-spawn weapon is the AUG. See how stable it feels? M16 is decent, but it's not the best. Do you see how accurate it is? Look, the first 4 bullets always hits the target, look. It's crazy good. So yeah, these 3, and this is without the heavy stock. Oh my god. Yeah, with the heavy stock, this gun becomes a broken weapon. It's an M16, bro. So now, ASM Abacan, same story. You put a compensator and you test. Oh my god, this thing has no recoil, look. Why does it move left and right? Oh, that's why, okay, yeah. Let's bring this down to what my M4 is. I don't know if it's right. Yeah, that's too low. I need to increase it. I need to fix it. Yeah, that's definitely too low. Okay, here's a quick tip. Why does this gun feel so good? Bitter. From everything I just explained to you about the difference between recoil and stability, why does this gun feel so good? If you can answer, I'll give you a cookie. Why? If you guys can tell me, I'll give you a cookie. No, come on. What do you mean it's better? I asked for a reason. Give me an explanation. Stop being so lazy, bro. No recoil. Okay, I'm with that. Okay, that's 0.1, Jaden. So no recoil is 0.1. But there's one more thing. No. There's one more thing. Small crosshair. No, small crosshair is for hip fire. The crosshair is the same when you put scopes on, buddy. Doesn't make a difference. Less camera shake. Thank you very much, D. See, he figured it out. No. Less camera shake. See, there's 2 types of recoil. I already explained it, and I'll explain it again. There is recoil where your gun goes up or your gun goes left and right, right? That's what we call recoil. But then there's one more thing where how much does your scope shake when you shoot, right? The more shake it has, the harder it is for you to aim on target when spraying. Do you understand so far? So if you were to do that with, like, look, here's an example. I'll grab the, not Ace 32, sorry, M7, yeah? Look, I'll remove the attachments. Take a look. Forget the recoil. Look, I can get the recoil, look. I can get the recoil here, yeah? But look at what happens when it's got, because of the shake. See, the whole scope gets shaky. Look. That's called instability. It doesn't have stability. Whereas this, even without the attachment, look. It doesn't shake because it's very stable. So remember, 2 things, stability and recoil. If a gun has both, then great. If a gun has one over the other, if it has stability but bad recoil, then obviously that's a bad gun. Not necessarily a bad gun, but it can be used in certain situations, like the M16. Right? The M16 is extremely stable, and if you get your aim correctly and your sensitivity right, you can do triple headshots all day. Like, that's how good it is. M4, same story. AUG, same story. Very stable, very low recoil. If you get your aim right, your sensitivity, your attachments right, you're gonna potato. It's well balanced, yeah. So this thing has both low recoil and very good stability. It doesn't move. But here's the problem. It doesn't do that much damage. This damage is less than the M4. It's very, very, very nice at long range. But its damage is not that great. My God, this thing is broken. Okay. Look at this. Even when ADSing, it starts to go bang, 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 bang. It shakes. When I do it with this, okay, it shakes too. What the hell? Okay, so the ASM Abacan is very stable with a scope. Not very stable without it, because it jerks back and forth a lot. It's not very it's not very good without a scope, but with a scope, oh my God. I prefer SKS long range. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. If you like DMRs, you like DMRs, you know? I personally prefer the AUG, but to each their own, buddy. To each their own. That being said, now, any other questions before talking about sensitivity and so on and so forth? Is the Scarl better than ASM? It can be in some situations. It depends on the situation. In terms of recoil, no. In terms of damage, yes. In terms of damage, it's significantly better than Abacan Scarl. But in terms of recoil, Abacan is better. So it depends on your situation. I hope they don't add what? New gun to the ultimate. Oh, if they add this to Ultimate Royale, oh my God, you're gonna see so many people doing this garbage. They're gonna start doing this nonsense in freaking Ultimate Royale, bro. Not at all. If it moves in sides, I should increase or decrease? Decrease. If it's moving left and right, you have instability. You need to decrease. If it's going up too much, then you need to increase. You need to find a middle ground between the two. UMP45 is a very, very solid SMG. It's an excellent all-rounder, right? It excels, it beats all ARs. Like, it's the most accurate SMG in the game. Second most accurate, you know, first is the Uzi. Second most accurate SMG in the game. Third would be the P90. Like, they're neck to neck. That's how good the aim of the UMP is. It's got a good fire rate. It's got good damage per bullet, decent damage per second. So it's a very good all-rounder weapon. New gun is broken, yeah. You can do that on your own time. Because I already explained it to you. The new attachment doesn't do anything for snipers. All it does is just increase their damage. That's it. So you can test that in the training ground yourself. Snipers are very easy. Aim, shoot. That's it. There's no science behind it, bro. Aim, shoot. What more do you want? Like, I'm terrible at sniping, but the reality of it is, you just aim and shoot. With snipers, you just need experience. You need to play more with snipers to get better with them. You know, there's no one magical solution that will make you like the best sniper in the world. There's no such thing. For snipers, you just need experience. Play with it more and more. The more you learn about it, the more you understand how it works, the better your aim is, right? Because that's all it is with snipers, aiming. Nothing more, nothing less. Because snipers don't have recoil, because it's like boom, boom. It's just one bullet at a time. Not at all. PvP isn't better than UMP. That's subjective, Cheeto. Subjective. And as a matter of fact, remember, my rule of thumb, right? My philosophy is very simple. There are no absolutions in life, only absolutions in context. There's no 100% anything, anywhere. There's no black and white. This is good, this is bad, this is the... It's a gray area. You need to think of in terms of contexts. If you're facing squads and you have good cover, PP Bison is good. It's an extremely stable weapon. It's got very good damage. It's got very good thingy. It's better than UMP. In some situations, yes. Some situations, no. UMP 45, if you want raw damage and you want guaranteed knock, even against squads, UMP 45 is brilliant. So in some situations, UMP is very good. If you want more accuracy, PP Bison is your friend. If you want more damage, UMP is your friend. So it depends on the situation that you're at. So don't just say one gun is better than the other. It depends on the situation. Even me, who hates the AKM so much, right? I hate the AKM so much with a passion. It's garbage. But in some situations, AKM is better than other guns, including the AUG. So you just need to think of in contexts, right? You need to think of different situations. Okay, I'm discussing weapons and stats and stuff like that. How does that help get me to help you regarding skins? Like, what do you want me to do? The luck of the mummy is really bad. Last year I did like 32k and I got nothing. Not the M4, not the fire mummy, nothing. It's the luck, bro. Unlucky. What trick do I need to do? There's no trick. It's just you get lucky. You get lucky. Any other questions? Can you do a little more recoil without gyro? Is it? Okay, Lisa. So, okay. I know a lot of people that play no gyro that have no recoil. It has nothing to do with having gyro or non-gyro. Playing with gyro is easier. It does not necessarily mean it's better, right? It depends on preference and playstyle. Some people like non-gyro, some people like full gyro. Some people have smaller, much more handleable devices like a phone or a 9-inch or a 11-inch iPad or a tablet or whatever. Some people have a 13-inch freaking laptop level iPad where they cannot play full gyro. They have to play like non-gyro. Some people just generally prefer non-gyro even on phones. That's fine. That's not an issue, right? It just depends on your preference. So to answer your question, yes, you can get no recoil on non-gyro. Absolutely. I know so many players, Malik, Fates, there's a couple of others as well, like off the top of my head. I can't remember them. I think Dark plays with no gyro. There's so many players out there that play with no gyro that have no recoil. So it's not necessary to play full gyro to get no recoil. Gyro is just easier. That's all it is. Like, bro, I can burst in full spray Scar out, but I can't control AUG at all. Okay, let's talk about the AUG. Okay. Cheeto, thank you for the follow. Cheeto, let's talk about the AUG. Your problem with the... Can you spot the difference? Can you spot the difference between the Scar L and M4? If it moves side to sides, you need to decrease. It means your sensitivity is too high. If it moves up too much, it means it's too low. You need to increase. You need to find a middle ground where it doesn't move too much side to side, where it doesn't move too much up and down. Right? Okay, look, I'll show you again.
Do it again, I didn't see.
What's the difference between the two? What's the difference? Other than the sound, what's the difference? Tell me so I can help you. What's the difference? Why is gyro? Should I turn off ADS sensitivity? No, you don't need to turn off ADS sensitivity. No. Nothing? Bravo! Not Inferno. You got it. So, these two guns have the same fire rate. Yeah? Same fire rate. Yes, recoil is different.
Gets bigger, faster, and Scarl, and more bullet spray.
No, you're yes, that's true. You're thinking of hip fire. I was talking about the fire rate. Yeah? The fire rate is the same. Recoil is different. M4 is much more stable. It's better. Scar-L is a little bit more shaky, and it tends to go left and right. Just a tiny bit, not too much, because the Scar-L is still handleable. Like, you can still pick up the Scar and knock some enemies with it. Do you know what I'm saying? The point that I'm making is that Scar-L, QBZ, M4, they all have the same fire rate. That's why you see so many people use the same sensitivity for most guns, because they have the same fire rate. Even though that's incorrect to have the same sensitivity for every gun, that's very wrong. Different guns have different recoil patterns. But because they shoot the same fire rate, people think it works the same. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, now, here's another one. What's the difference between this and this? AUG shoots faster, right? So if a gun shoots faster and you're not used to it, your gun is gonna start moving up and down, left, right, and center. Because you're so used to the slow shooting of this, it's much easier, like if your scope moves left, it's much easier to move your scope here. But if it shoots really fast and your scope moves here, it starts to go left and right and it goes crazy. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the trick about the AUG that most people don't understand. We've spent years spraying with M4 Scar-L level fire rates. We don't know how to spray with fast weapons. Weapons that shoot really fast. You don't know. You can't lead. You target. You don't know how to lead. Right? And that's not the gun's fault. That's our fault as players. I've been using the AUG for the last 3.5 years. My eyes, my ears, and my hands are used to how quickly it shoots. I know how quick it shoots. That's why I can handle the AUG. That's why it's my favorite gun. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm in a... So even if I'm in a panic situation and the enemy's shooting me, it's like, oh, I'm getting shot. It's still gonna be stable, like... Do you know what I'm saying? For the most part, I'm still gonna hit my target. Whereas the M4... Even if you potato and your target, like your scope moves a little bit, you can always bring it back. With an AUG, if you potato, it's much harder to get it to go back to the target because it keeps shooting and shooting. The biggest mistake I see people do with the AUG is when they potato their aim, instead of stopping to shoot and then resetting their aim or resetting, like I would reset my aim and then continue shooting, right? What most people seem to do is the same mistake that they do with the M4. So if you potato, I see people doing this. They carry on shooting more. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Why is a problem? Look, let me get rid of attachments and you'll understand what I'm saying. Look. After a certain number of bullets, it starts to go left and right. M4, same story. After a certain number of bullets, it starts to go left and right. Right? Look again. Here is another example, if you don't believe me. Look at the crosshair. Look at the crosshair, look. See how it gets bigger the longer you shoot? So the longer you keep shooting, the more recoil you're going to have. And this is something most people don't understand. So if a gun that like AUG shoots really fast and you're not used to it already, plus the recoil is gonna get bigger as the longer you shoot, why would you carry on shooting? If I was behind cover and I was trying to knock a moving target and I potatoed, I would stop. I would stop and just wait. You know what I mean? So at least I don't mess up my aim until I get used to how the AUG works, for example, right? But for me, that's not an issue. That's not an issue. I love how the AUG feels. Like, for the most part, oh my God, that was awful, wasn't it? Ugh, what kind of spray was that? There you go. See how stable it feels? Now, even if I was... And because it shoots faster, for example, all you need is 10 bullets with an M4 to knock a level 3 vest or a helmet, yeah? But the AUG does the same thing, it just does it faster. Right? Which is why people don't know whether they knocked a target or not. See, that was 7, look, that was 7 bullets. 10 bullets. Now the M4 does it slower. So you have to shoot a little bit longer to reach the same desired effect. Much faster. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I keep on full gyro, I should turn off aim assist or keep it? If you're struggling with your aim, keep it on. It helps you for now. As you get more in control of your aims and your scopes and so on and so forth, once you get confident enough with your skills, right, slowly shift towards turning it off. I personally don't like it on. I turn off aim assist. I don't like it. But that's because I have confidence and I have stability now and I know how to control my own recoil. If you're not at that stage yet, don't make life too complicated. Do step by step, one by one, okay? First, control your sensitivity. Then, control your gun. Then, learn how to build your experience. Play classics, play TDMs, play this, play that, right? Build muscle memory until your hand, your fingers, your body is fully used to everything that's going on. Once you learn how to do that, it takes a couple of months, then slowly shift towards turning off aim assist. Then you work towards it, yeah? It depends on what you like. It depends on what you like. Okay.